Hi friends, Tiffany here. Welcome to my quilting life. All right, time for July's open gate box. Let's see what we have inside. Such a nice box. Let's take a look. First things first, there's always a note on what's in here, what the name of the fabric line is, the notion, if you want add-ons and classes and notes. Oh, look at that's cute. We're going to make a small reusable grocery bag. Has the instructions on here. They're usually very easy to follow. Oh, look. This is backing fabric. I got backing fabric this time? Wow. That's awesome. Thimble tape. So, assuming you put this around your thimble or your finger, maybe, so you can hand sew. Not quite sure. I'll have to read that. The thread color this month is 2000, which is a creamy color. The project looks like it's going to be big. Look at all this. Wow. It's called Blooming Flowers, and it's supposed to be 15 by 42 and a half. Oh, there's what it's going to be right there. That's cute. Look at all those pretty colors. Ooh, and even a pattern this month called Flower Baskets. I love Monique's patterns. All right. Wow, this is going to be pretty. I'm curious about this tape stuff. Oh, you put the tape around your finger and it becomes a thimble. Okay. We'll have to try this out when I do hand sewing again, unless this project has hand sewing in it. All right, well, let's start with making the Blooming Flowers pattern. So before we open it up, the pattern's fabric, the fabric that's in the little pattern, the little project bag, is called Sagewood by Moda Fabrics. Sagewood by Moda Fabrics. Let's take a look. Try not to give you the instructions, but I'm going to pull this out, and then we'll pull these fabrics out of here. All right, look at that. Ooh, that's pretty. We got a solid that's a creamy yellowish color. It's kind of creamy, but it's got more of a yellow hue to it. Ooh, look at this with the dragonflies. So pretty. You always get enough fabric to make this project specifically. Ooh, that's pretty. Ooh, with the flowers. Ooh, more flowers. Those are pretty. A solid green must be for some of the flower petals. Ooh, look at that one. That's pretty. I like the little tiny ones too. We got a leaf print. Ooh, that's pretty. And another black print, but with the flowers. Again, that's Sagewood by Moda Fabrics. She also included the iron-on, oh my goodness, this stuff to iron it on for applique. And the pattern seems to be written very well. And then the letters are on this piece of paper for the applique. So as always, I always press all my fabrics before I start. So that is what I'm going to do, is give all this a nice press, and we'll get started. As always, first things first, we start cutting everything out. I laid all my fabrics in the order of which the directions are having me cut, so I'm just going to go ahead and start pulling and cutting. Now, I cannot give you the cutting instructions because the pattern is not my own, and for future boxes, if you want to order the Open Gate box, you can find the link in the description below or up in the information tab. So I'm going to go ahead now and speed this up while I cut my things out. It looks like from every single fabric that I cut, I will be also cutting a corresponding letter. So I'm going to I'm probably going to save the extra pieces for last to cut the letter out, because I need to fuse a little bit of this on every letter. So I'm going to go ahead now and just fast forward you a little bit while I cut everything out, and then I'll set all my different blocks aside, because I'm making 4 different blocks and then a bunch of filler, and then obviously the letters. So here we go. Okay, so now I'm going to piece on for block 1. I'm going to place each of these greens into a corner, and then I'm going to sew diagonally, and then I'm going to sew diagonally, placing the smaller squares of the background, or the cream color, creamish yellow color, and I'm going to sew those opposite. So this one will go this way, and these two will sew from corner to corner this way. So corner to corner and corner to corner. So I'm going to go to the machine and sew all of these. Here we are at the machine. So I'm just going to take one at a time. Sew from corner to corner on the green. Then I'm just going to turn it and sew corner to corner on this one. And turn it one more time and sew corner to corner on this one. Pretty much snowballing the corners. So it will fold back and create that. So I'll cut those away in a second. I'm going to go ahead and sew the rest of the other ones. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut my 1/4 inch seam allowance. Now I'm going to take these over to the iron, and I'm going to press 2 of these out like this, out like this. So 2 of them will be pressed outward. And then the other 2, we're going to fold under and press inward towards the burgundy. So right now I'm just finger pressing because it helps when I get to the iron so you don't burn your fingers. Just give it a little finger press. All right, I'm going to go press these. I'll be right back. All right, apparently I sewed this one right here a little on the wonky side. You see that? So I'm just going to square that corner up. There we go. Now it's the size it's supposed to be. So now I'm going to put them together, 2 like this, and then the opposite 2 in the opposite corners like that. And now I'm going to take this over to the machine, and these seams should be opposite and nest right together. So let's go to the machine and sew. All right, here we are. I'm going to lay these right here so that you can see. I'm just going to put these right sides together. I'm going to sew the top 2 first, nesting those opposite seams. And apparently, I mixed them up, just moving them. Look at that. Whew. You know, nothing is ever perfect. These 2, opposite directions, top and bottom. Now, I'm going to press 1 to the right and 1 to the left. And I'm going to sew those 2 together. And again, everything should nest right up. And there we have that part done. All right, once that is sewn, I'm going to take 2 of the smaller cream colored strips and then 2 of the longer ones. And we're going to go ahead, sew the 2 sides on, then the top and bottom. I'm going to go ahead and press these real quick. and then sew the top and bottom on. I'm going to press these back, and then this block is done. All right, here is this block. So block 1 is done. I'm going to set it aside, and we're going to start on block 2. All right, we're going to take 4 of the squares. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then 4 of these. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we are going to sew. We're going to draw a diagonal line from corner to corner, and then we're going to sew on both sides of that drawn line. So we're giving ourselves 8 half square triangles. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. All right, I'm going to sew on both sides of the drawn line. So I'm just going to chain piece them through. Flip them around and do the other side of the drawn line. I ran out of bobbin. 2 seconds. Snip them apart, and then we're going to go trim them down to the size it says in the pattern. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and trim them in half. And then trim them to size. All right, I'm going to take these over and press them all to the dark. Okay, so now I'm going to lay these out. Oh, no, now I'm going to take this piece right here, and I'm going to take one of these pieces right here, and I'm going to place it right here on the corner, and I'm going to sew from here to here. I'm not going to bother taking you over to the camera for this one. I'm just going to sew from corner to corner. Once that is sewn, I'm going to cut away my excess, and I'm going to press it towards the green. Now that that is pressed, I'm going to go ahead and we are going to lay the block out with this facing down like that. We are going to do 3 of these half square triangles facing in like this. And then we are going to grab 3 of these right here. And we're going to sew this together. Just like this. So I'm going to go ahead now and we're going to take this over to the machine and sew it. All right, so I am going to start with these 2 with a 1/4 inch seam. I like my seam guide. I want to make sure that I'm doing it correctly. Okay, so now those are together. I'm going to go ahead and press it over to the side like this, so over that way. And then I'm going to add this end piece. Just like that, and it's going to hang over on the bottom. And again, I'm going to press that over this direction. Now I'm going to go ahead and sew these two pieces together. And I'm going to go ahead and press this way towards this centerpiece. Then I'm going to hook these two together like this, right sides together. I just finger press for now, so the seams are in opposite directions. I'm going to go ahead and cut that dog ear off right there. Oops. It would help if I held the little snips better. These snips are not meant for fabric cutting, let me tell you. All right, lay that on there, and I should have a 1/4 inch or so hanging out at the bottom. All right, once that is pressed, I'm going to go ahead and press it down. And then I'm going to add this last corner, oops, right here. So I'm just going to lay this on here. I'm going to get rid of that dog ear real quick. And then sew this on. And then press this down like that. And then I'm going to go over to the iron and press this nice and flat. We'll trim the dog ears off and then attach the two sides. All right, so now I just need to put the two sides together. They should be exactly the same size. So I'm just going to line them up on top of each other. My points here are touching, my points here are touching, and I'm going to sew my 1/4 inch seam. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and press it towards this block right here, the piece that we just added. I'm going to go ahead and trim the dog ears off, and then I'm going to grab the two pieces that are going to go all the way around it, technically 4 pieces, 2 of one side and 2 of the other, just the same as we did with the previous block. So I'm going to go ahead and add one of these on each side, like this. And then I will add one of the bigger ones on the top and one on the bottom. All right, now I'm going to press and I'll meet you at the cutting table. Block 2 complete. So now we have block 1 and block 2 and tons of parts and pieces. So let's make block 3 now, and we'll get started on that. Okay, so for block number 3, we need this and some of these. Okay, and then I need this piece. Now I'm going to start by hooking, oh, I need 2 of these. I'm going to start by hooking 2 of these cream colors, and I'm going to sew one on with a diagonal line from corner to corner. Then I'm going to clip the excess, press it back, and sew the other one, clip the excess, and sew it back, creating a flying geese unit. So let's go over and do that. Okay, so first one, corner to corner. I'm going to snip away the excess, 1/4 inch seam, and then I'm going to press it back and sew the opposite side on. Now to sew the opposite side on, corner to corner. Trim that off. Press it back, and then we're going to sew some more. Okay, so now I'm going to take that and 2 of these, and now I'm going to sew on here the opposite way, corner to corner. So I'm laying a square on the corner, one side, and I'm going to sew from corner to corner on that. I'm going to go ahead and trim off the excess. So you should have something that looks like this. I'm going to go ahead and press that. And now I'm going to sew the other side on. And then press that back. Now we're going to take the bigger piece and 2 small ones. And I'm going to do that same thing, snowballing 2 of the bottom corners. And do the opposite side. I'm going to trim this off with a 1/4 inch seam. And then press these back. Now I'm going to sew those 2 units together, creating the flower. And then I'm going to press it towards the bottom piece. Now I'm going to take the bigger of they're kind of wider, of the long strips, and I'm going to hook 1 to each side. I'm going to go ahead and press these to the side. Now I'm going to add, dropping things, a top and a bottom of the longer piece. And then press it back, and this block will be done. All right, so here's that block. Block number 3 is now done. Set it aside, and let's start block number 4. So set 4 of those aside. We only need 2 of them. So we're going to need 2 of these and 2 of these and 2 of these. And we're going to make some more half square triangles. So I'm going to sew on both sides of a drawn line. So let's go do that. So just so you know, I did run out of my light squares and had to cut some more. Reason is, in the directions for block 2, it says to use 4 lights and draw the line. You only need to use 2 lights and draw the line. And I sewed all 4, if you didn't notice in the video. So just remember, you're only sewing 2 for block 2 and 2 lights for block 4. Okay? At this point, I'm lucky that I had a similar color. It's not exactly the same, but when it's all done, nobody's going to know. Only you guys, because I told you. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and slice them in half and press them, and then we're going to turn these and the smaller square that's left in half. In half. We're going to press these and then sew it with the smaller square. Oh my goodness, I can't talk today. So I grabbed this, my 4 of those, 1 of those that's equal size, and the last green. I'm going to take this last green and I'm going to put it in one corner right here. So from corner to corner. snip away the excess and press it back. All right, here's that block. Now the next steps is to take all of these that we have 4 of each. It was a good thing because I accidentally, like I said, made 4 of these. See, so I had half square triangles because I used that. So it was a good thing there was excess of this fabric, enough to cut exactly 2 more squares. So there's 4 of each of those. And then you have your 4 of each of these. So I'm going to go ahead and just separate these real quick. All right, and now we're going to build around our blocks. So you're going to take 4 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then you're going to have 3, 2, 3. So you're going to build 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's set number 2. We'll move those around like this. There we go. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll have those together. And we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then one more. 1, 2. We'll use this one. 3, 4. So that's 5 sets of that, and then 1, 2, 3, and 4 sets of 3. Now you can put them in order of the pattern, or you can just do like me and just do random, which is what I'm going to do. So I'm going to take and sew these all together now. All right. 4 sets of 3 and 5 sets of 4. Now it's time to lay them out. So 1 set of 3 will go on each side. Right now we're just going to hook them like this because I can't lay them completely out on my desk. So on one side of each of these, you will add the 3. So I'm just going to sew to one side of all of those. Be right back. I'm going to go ahead and press all these out like this. Just going to press them all that way. So I'm going to lay it sideways. We're going to put one of these on top. All right, this was number 1. Then we'll put one of these. This was number 2 block. Then turn that around. Number 3 block. Then one of these will go here. And let's put that one. And then obviously you can't see, it'll be this one next with that block. So I'm going to go ahead and sew this onto here, press it, add this. So add that, add this, add that, add this, add that, blah, blah, blah. All right. Press that up. Add the next. Press it. Now to add this, I'm going to press towards this middle piece. I'm going to add this one now. I'm going to go ahead and press towards this. Add the next. Press towards this. Now to add this one. Press this way. Now to add this one. Press again towards this. Last piece. I guess it doesn't really matter which way. Final one, press towards this, and then this will be ready for the next step. Okay, now we are ready for the next step. Now you could have put all these on as the pattern showed, and it probably would have had them spread out better. But you know me, I really don't do that. I just throw them on there. All right, so next step is to take all those pieces that we separated for the letters. So all these pieces that we had and our letters. And then these pieces. So I think it was, that was 1, that was 2, that was 3, that was 4. And then it doesn't really matter, I think, which letter gets what, honestly. So what I'm going to do now is trace the letters, they're backwards already, onto this. And then when I glue it on, they will be right side. So I'm just going to trace them and cut them out onto this. All right, just remember, do not, after you put these on, the manufacturer's instructions is like 3 to 6 seconds to iron these on. All right, so now I'm going to cut all these out of the fabric. So this is going to take a minute. So for that now, I'll just slap it and fast forward while I do this. Okay, now that they are all cut out, we are going to take our cream big strip that we saved for last. I didn't cut it to size, but I will right now. I'll just move my letters out of the way. Going to place this right here. I'm going to lay this on top. Let's cut that selvage off real quick. I'm going to place it on here. And the measurements are actually in the pattern. I'm just, because I didn't cut it because sometimes the selvages aren't long enough. And as you can see, the selvage is going to be in that. So what I'm going to do is sew this on to allow it to tighten. And then we'll see about getting the rest of this selvage off. But I'm going to clip it or pin it in place at the moment to get it to lay correctly. That's why I didn't cut it off yet. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and pin the start and then pin where I want it to land, which is beyond the selvage a little bit, like right at the dots that are the holes that are in the selvage. I'm kind of just putting it about right there. And then I'm going to go ahead and just pin this in place, and then we'll put the letters on. So just as the tip, don't cut the one side of the selvage off just yet. I would say sew it on first. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do. All right, now that I have it on here, I'm just going to flip it upside down and trim off that selvage piece. Now it's the size it needs to be, and there's going to be a couple holes, but the binding will cover that. Some fabrics aren't exactly what they say they are, and I think the pattern needed 43 inches, but there wasn't a total of 43 inches. So now I'm going to go ahead and press it towards that real quick, and then we're going to attach our letters. First things first, I'm going to peel. Oh, let me fix some of these real quick, because I noticed when I trimmed them out, they're not like perfect. And I'm not going to be stitching this till I get to the long arm. There we go. Let's make that look a little bit more G-like. That's better. Let's see. Let me look at the rest of these real quick. That looks good, looks good. And I did the M when I was still sitting. And there's the B. Okay. So now I'm going to take these over to the ironing board, and we're going to put them where we want them. And we're going to make sure that we're spelling the word blooming correctly by double checking. Okay, here we are at the ironing board. I'm going to go ahead and put my B. Oh, that's L O O M I. Oops. M I N G. All right, so I'm going to place these where I want them, and then I'm going to make sure that everything is about center. I got about the same amount of space on the top as I do on the bottom. That looks about right. So now I'm going to take each letter off of the paper. Should be able to just pop it, but sometimes I need to score it. Sometimes if you just fold it, it'll peel right off. So I'm going to replace them before I iron. Like I said, if you fold it, sometimes it'll take the paper, sometimes it won't. All right. The L, that O on there, that. My M is kind of large, and I don't want the binding to hit it when I do put the binding on. So what I'm going to do is place it as close to the pieced side as possible, allowing space for that binding. So I'm literally going to that side with it, just a little, there we go, that eye on here. And then once I get all these, I'm going to stand at the end and look at them and see if they're all lined up straight so that I can adjust if need be. It doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody's is going to be perfect. Mine is not perfect by no means. This N on here, it looks about even. I don't know. I don't know which way looks the best. All right, and get this G. Like I said, it doesn't always come off simple. Sometimes it takes a second. G placed where I want it. They look, we're going to do 2 finger spaces. How about that? That way, this needs to come down a little bit. Right about there. 2 finger spaces, 2 finger spaces, 2 fingers. Right about there. 2, 2, 2, and 2. Right there. All right, so now I'm going to go to the end. I'm sorry, I'm coming in front of the camera. And I'm going to look and see if it's straight. And this isn't. I'm going to go that way with everything, just a smidgen. I'm going to look at it again. That looks much better. So now the last thing is just to take the iron, press it down. Do not swipe it around. Just pick it up and press it down. Get all this in place. I think it's 3 to 5 seconds for that glue to adhere. Pass in front of the camera. All right, one more time over every single one, just to ensure that they are on there. And since I'm not quilting this just yet, because I have something on the long arm, so I can't do this project today. So there it is. Let's go take a look at it on the table. So here's what it looks like. All the letters fit on the table, so you can see all that, but I have a few inches on the bottom and a few inches on the top. It's almost about equal. Looks cute. Right now I can't do anything about it, but this will be the binding. And as soon as the long arm is free, I will quilt this up and bind it. And this time I had graciously got the backing fabric from Monique, so that's awesome. I will use this and I will stitch around these on the long arm, and that's that for now. So isn't that adorable? Perfect, perfect, perfect. Now let's make the reusable grocery bag. Okay, so I did the table runner and it's ready to, have its backing fabric and bound and stuff and quilted at the long arm. I can't do that right now. I just want to make a confession. I filmed it and I did not put it in this video. I spent too long on a little tiny reusable grocery bag. I'm sorry. And I'm sorry to Monique. I don't understand your directions. Because Monique will probably see this video. I don't understand these directions. So I've probably read this like 20 times now. And I wasted the first amount of fabric that came with the reusable grocery bag. It's cute, adorable fabric. See? But I cut it wrong because I wasn't paying attention. That's my bad. But then I cut my own fabric and cut my own fabric and cut my, I just, and cut and sewed, cut and sewed. I don't know why my brain is not computing this pattern today. So I just want to give you guys notice, those of you who get the Open Gate box and follow along with my videos, don't stress. Read the little pattern first, like 10 times. If you think you get it, sew it. But I have a feeling you're not going to get it either, because I don't get it. I don't know what's happening here. And I've tried. And this is now at the point right here that if I turned it out, it makes no sense because now there's only a hole. I can't do it. I just can't do it. So you guys are going to miss out on that. And you're also going to miss out on my frustration because words came out, the camera was on, and trying. No. So take it from me. If you have a hard time understanding it, reading it first, don't cut nothing. Just save the fabric for some other project. If you do understand it, 100%, I'm proud of you. You can sew this up. But me, I can't. So I'm turning my brain off for the day, and I'm not going to sew the small reusable grocery bag. That's it. I'm done with it. I'm hoping to get this quilted soon and then share some pictures with you. So thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.